Mirror, mirror, how do you find yourself when you feel lost? I think I have a few ideas. Let's have that talk. Welcome back, chosen ones. My little fire starters. Thank you for keeping our channel lit. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Your Reflection. Created by me, but designed by you. Ooh, today's episode, you guys, it's called Lost and Find. Yeah, deep. About to peel back another layer. This one probably gonna hurt. Speaking of loss, y'all. Ooh. You know how I'm always talking about embracing parts of you. All of this is a new part that I'm learning to embrace. I had shoulder length hair. And you've seen some of my videos where I had like the twist and the braids and stuff. So you kind of got to have the hair to be able to create those styles. So I had shoulder length hair though. And although it had length, it was breaking. It was breaking really bad. So I made the decision to cut it. Because as I'm becoming whole, you guys, I can't have anything around me, in me, on me that is constantly breaking. So how I see it now, I guess we're just gonna have to grow together. But that first cut, y'all, ooh, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. And stop looking at me like that. Y'all probably like, oh my God, girl, it's just hair. You so dramatic, really. Yeah, it is just hair, but it's mine. And it was an image that I was used to. Y'all, I loved my hair. Because I'm like a self-taught hairdresser, I guess is what you want to call it. I grew up around that. My great auntie Sarah, my great auntie Lucille, like all of them were hairstylists. So I learned at an early age how to be able to maintain and do my own hair. So that was a privilege. I could save thousands of dollars, trust. And because like I'm not really a big wig wearer either, I want to learn how to wear them though, but I'm just something I never was able to do. So I embraced my own hair. And I've gotten used to it. I did a big cut probably like 4 years ago. And that was something that I really decided to do because I was like, I just want to cut it and then have it grow back on its own. But this time, it was breaking. So I had to cut it. But like I said, that first cut, y'all, because I was working so hard to get to that length and that strength that I wanted, but it wasn't working. For whatever reason, it was breaking, and I mean breaking bad. Now, I know that, your hair automatically sheds, but shed and break is two different words. It was two different things that was going on. So I had to change it. It wasn't easy, but it had to be done. And then in the midst of that, because I had so many negative thoughts about it, I was literally back in here in my head, you guys, where I told y'all, treat it like an Airbnb. You only stay for a couple of nights and then you get out. So I had to turn the negative thoughts that I saw about not having hair into a positive. So although I may have lost my hair, I was finding out that the new me is still beautiful. See how I turned a negative into a positive. So she's still cute, y'all. But we're not here to talk about my hair. That is so not what the subject was about. Even though it was a great topic to begin with, talking about lost and found, because there's so many ways to define that topic. But today, grief, also known as loss. Y'all, I do not handle death well. Now, I know there are certain people who can, who's like, you know what, such and such was going to die anyway, or whatever. Me, honey, I don't. Especially when it's unexpected. Like, oh, I think those hit worse. And, you know, we know death is an everyday occurrence. That we're all living to die one day. It's going to be a thing, I know. And for years, and I do mean years, it took me a while to accept the death of my mother, my brother, and my poetry mentor. They're all gone. And trust me, there are countless family members and deaths that has happened along the way with family and friends, but it was about them three. Those were the ones that truly, truly, truly hit here. And it's just my thoughts, you guys, but I feel like, you know, death is a whole lot more easier to handle when it's expected, when you know it's coming. But the unexpected ones, those are the ones that get you. Like my brother's death. It was unexpected. Caught me totally off guard. And for years, it was hard to handle. I had that thing called survivor's guilt. I wore it well. Trust me. That was another layer that I had to peel back. And thank God for therapy, because, oh. And my mother's, although it was expected, I mean, it's my mother. What do you think? You know, I told you guys that I didn't have a relationship with my biological mother, but my mother is my grandmother who raised me, and I called her mother. So her death, too, it was, like I said, it's my mother. And I'm quite sure some of you guys can relate. Losing a loved one, especially a parent, honey, it creates a great hole in your heart. But remember, I told you, it wasn't just them. It was one more person. My favorite superhero. We have this thing where we say we're Gotham finest because we used to call him our Batman. So he was our hometown superhero. His mama named him Tavis. And there's not a person on this planet, probably you guys, but there's not a poet on this planet that does not know that name. You guys, when I say we truly celebrated his life when he left, yeah. But he's the reason that I ever stepped on anybody's stage and called myself a poet, honey. So I call them my Trinity spirits. My parent, the prophet, and the pusher. My mother was the one who saw the gift at her early age. I think it was like a middle school assignment where we had to deal with metaphors and similes. And I wrote a poem that I had no idea was a poem. It was just homework. And then that's when my mother was like, oh my God, you have a gift. And then as I got older, I met Tavis. Shout out to Parallel Worlds in Zurich. If you see this, thank you still for that opportunity. But Tavis, he was the prophet who believed in the gift. And then my brother Dre, he was the one who pushed me out there. And once I realized one of them were gone, y'all, it was hard to go on. You hear me? I felt so lost. Like, what do I do now? How do I go on? What's happening now? Can I even go on without them? 'Cause I'm not gonna lie. I definitely felt weird stepping back on the poetry stage. As I stated, my mother was the first one to hear it. And then Tavis would critique it. And my brother, honey, he never missed the show. He may not have been able to stay for all of them, but he was there. It was his presence alone. That was that confident booster for me to know that I had that support there. So they were all tied into something that I truly love. And I felt lost when each one of them were no longer here. Is there anyone out here who can relate? You've lost a loved one and maybe it seems impossible to deal with. It is. The problem is I was so attached and so used to them being there until I actually lost my life. Where it felt like I lost my life after their death. Because they were my biggest supporters. And I really felt lost. I felt like I lost my purpose after their death. And although they were no longer here, it really wasn't the end, but it was the beginning for the new me and for the new you. Yes, they're gone. And for me, I use that as an excuse, honey. No, I'm not doing it. My mother's not here to hear it. Tavis is not here to correct it. And my brother's not here to support it. So no, I'm not doing it. I literally did. Even to this day, every now and then I do step on the stage, but it's not the same. It really isn't. But every time I do it for them because I know that this was something that they truly, truly believed in. For me, y'all, for years, I never really understood when people say, I'm sorry for your loss. Because really, if you think about it, you didn't really lose anything. But you found a purpose and a way to make them proud, even though they're still not here. So I ask you, within their death, what did life teach you at that moment? What did you find out about yourself? Do you realize how strong you really were, even when they died? Because somehow you found the strength to go on and look at us now. We're doing it. I know, just like me, you would prefer for them to be here, but they're not. We still are. So we have a purpose. I'm speaking for myself as well. I'm finding out that there is life after death. As difficult as it may be and as crazy as it may sound, you still found a way to live and kept going. Whomever it is that you may have lost, remember that there's a seed of wisdom that they planted within you. So you hold on to that and keep going. Have you had a moment where maybe it was a song or a memory or something that popped in your head and reminded you of that person, and you found yourself smiling or maybe even crying? But it's something that came from within. And whenever that happens, you guys, thank them for creating that moment. Hold on to those moments, and you will find that it does get easier. I used to hate when somebody would say, oh, it gets better with time. How? Seriously? Now, each year does affect me differently, but honestly, y'all, it has actually gotten easier. Reason why? Because I found life after death. I don't know about you, but maybe there's like a favorite spot, song, movie, location, whatever it is that brought you joy when you were with that person. Recreate those moments. For me, my mother's favorite spot was Golden Corral. So every year on the anniversary of her death, I used to go to Golden Corral and recreate those moments. Although she's gone, they're gone, your loved ones as well. They're actually still here. So when you find yourself getting into a funk about their absence, embrace their spiritual presence and thank them for being here just for that moment. See, in their death, you were able to find that you're stronger than you gave yourself credit for. You thought that you couldn't go on without them. So did I. And look at us. We're doing it. So pick up those broken pieces and make yourself whole again. Speaking to myself as well. It's definitely a process. I'm not sure how much time has passed, and it could be someone recent that has passed. But I'm here to tell you, sweetie, you're going to make it. Because you're here to carry on that torch now. Because you're living that life that they wanted you to. Every day, life is teaching us something new. And in the loss of a loved one, it is teaching us how to find ourselves and to live life to the fullest. I learned how to tell myself that I'm not only doing this for me, but I'm doing this for them as well because it would make them proud. You guys, we have to find that inner strength that they instill within us and continue to live life to the fullest. Yes, even in your pain, find peace and accept the things that you cannot change. We cannot change that they're no longer here, but we can change how long we decide to sit in that sadness. Trust me, I understand the pain. I really do. But I had to find ways to keep going. And I challenge you. I dare you. Keep going. So I basically said all this to say, you guys, whenever you feel lost or that one thing that you lost, remember that love that you have within yourself and keep going. Because remember, we can do all things. Be their voice when you speak your truth. And what was that lesson that we learned when they was here? Now use that lesson to carry on now that they're gone. What did you find out about yourself the day of and the day after? And what are you learning now? So instead of saying I'm sorry for your loss, I'm going to say that I'm happy for your strength. Because it's there. You just have to find it. Because we all can agree that it's going to take that inner strength to keep going. You are the product of wisdom that was planted within you throughout the years that you spent with them together. So I dare you, find life after death and keep going, even in spite of. Yeah, they're gone, but you are still here. We are still here. So don't stop living just because they're not. You add another brick to that foundation that they laid out for you. You continue their legacy or create your own. It's up to you. What do you want to do? Get lost in the moment or find a new moment? Everyone that has gone ahead of us, you guys, has placed something within us that only we know about, and we have to embrace it. So whatever it is, let it shine through. I know that you all probably have heard the saying, oh, you look just like such and such, or your mother and father used to smile like that, used to speak like that. Whatever it is, that lets you further know that they're still here. They're now living out through you. So they may not be here in the flesh, but it's their spirit that keeps you going. And you probably don't even notice until somebody says it. But I promise you, when you think about it, it makes you smile. So you're here for a reason, the chosen ones. So celebrate that loss as you find your strength. The strength that you didn't even know that you had. Because the seed was already planted. Now you grow and enjoy the new you that you found from within. So thank you. To my mother Doris, for the wisdom that you implanted in me. I am now able to share that wisdom with others. Thank you to my brother Dre for your support, because now I'm able to support others to help them walk into their purpose. Tavis, thank you for helping me believe in myself, because now I'm able to help others believe in themselves just as you believed in me. So you guys, whomever it may be, wherever you may be, whenever you have that thought or you feel lost, remember to thank them and find a way to keep going. I hope that today's episode was helpful to you. And remember, whomever it is that's lost, you find that wisdom that they gave you. Remember, I love everything about you, and so should you. You guys, next week's episode is show and tell. Until then, you guys have the best week ever. I look forward to seeing you next week.